we actually have Aaron to be the speaker. They are based in Singapore, and also later on when there are some cases, actually you can chat with them. As I mentioned previously before, this is the event for the May time. Actually, we are planning for the June and also in July time for different events as well. So stay tuned in our website, and hopefully by later time of this year, we may have some events and in physical way that we can meet together as well. Okay, so without asking you to stay too long for just listening to what I say, I pass the time to Daryl and also Aaron. So Daryl, if you want to make some further introduction, you can also feel free to do so.
Sure. Thank you, Richie. Hi, everyone. So I'm Daryl. So I'm from Checkmarx. Thank you so much for joining the call today. So today we will be sharing about supply chain attacks and then what are the trends that we are seeing in 2025. So without further ado, I'll pass the time on to Aaron. So Aaron will be taking us through the webinar today. And then in the case where if anyone has any questions, feel free to write it on the chat, and then we'll address it once we have any pauses in the session. Okay, Aaron, off to you.
Okay, thank you, Daryl. Hello, everyone. My name is Aaron. I am the regional solution engineer. At Checkmarx, I cover North Asia and ASEAN. So in this session, we are going to take a deep dive into some important aspects of the software supply chain security, discuss the critical importance in today's threat landscape, and then look at practical steps so you can take now to protect your enterprise. So first and first, right, I want to make sure everyone is able to see the slides I'm sharing right now. Daryl, you are able to see that, right?
Yep, your slide is sharing.
Okay, so I'm moving to the agenda. You are able to see the next slides in the agenda, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
good. All good. Okay. So, in today's session, right? So I'm going to use almost 40 to 50 minutes to cover the following points, right? So we are going to explore the evolution of software supply chain security, why it's crucial, important, and what are the challenges the most enterprise facing right now. And then we're also going to cover some of the fast growing software supply chain attack vectors affecting the enterprise in 2025 and beyond. So, and then how you can define against them, right? So at the end, we will wrap up with key takeaways and then an important insight into how to protect in this area. So today we are going to talk about the software supply chain security, right? This area or this topic has evolved rapidly in recent years. So here are some key milestones, including the 2020. It is a well-known 2020. In 2020, the SolarWinds attacks, and then the subsequent software security initiative launched by the U.S. federal government in 2020, right? So, and then in the response, application security vendors and the enterprises began investigating heavily in supply chain security solutions. So, because many supply chain weakness remain relative unprotected, so the threat actors are heavily focusing on them. So in such a situation, so the related the supply chain related risk is skyrocket. So at the same time, right? So the research across the board also confirm the supply chain attacks are increasing dramatically. Gartner report triple-digit growth in software supply chain attacks. At the same time, Verizon recorded a 68% increase in supply chain breach from 2023 to 2024. Checkmarx's own security research team also identified a 92% increase in the number of malicious packages found in the wild over the past 2 years. Meanwhile, IBM research also showed the supply chain attacks are among the most expensive type of cyber attacks. They tend to take significantly longer to discover, leading to delay remediation and more extensive damage. So it's crucial to secure your supply chains, your software supply chain, because more than ever, application risk equal to the business risk, right? Because most of the business right now using the software to drive the revenues. So how do we get there? The answer is related to the evolution of the cloud native application development. So previously, enterprise software development had fewer moving parts and a more limited attack surface. You can see from the slides here. And then today, because of the cloud native application, the booming of the cloud native application development, and then this this kind of development also rely on um, um, many different parts of the interconnected components, third-party dependencies, and the automated deployment processes. In such a case, dramatically expanding the attack surface. And then we are in the AI era since 2024, right? So so right now we are able to see newer mainstream technologies involved in the software development, like such as AI, right? Use the AI to generate the code, containers, infrastructure code, has further those kind of technologies also further increase the complexity and the risk. So what exactly do we mean by the software supply chain? So you can see from this diagram, is providing a high level view of the supply chain. So the software supply chain consists of all the components, tools, and the processes used to develop and deploy applications, right? The developers write source code, then compile together with third-party dependencies, for example, open source packages, then compile into the application. That application is packaged into forms like the binary and the container images, and then deploy into the production environment, into the cloud, hybrid cloud, or even the on-prem environment, right? So what I saw here, right, the modern approach introduced a very wide range of attack vectors, many of which simply did not exist in the past, right? You can see. So we are now going to drill down into 4 most rapidly growing supply chain cases you need to defend against in 2025 and beyond. So the first cases I want to show is a malicious open source package. So, well, we all know we have the traditional software composition analysis, right? Software composition analysis, this kind of products has been started around, I say, about 10 years ago. And then so the purpose of this solution is to identify open source libraries, right, with containing vulnerabilities. But most ICA solutions still don't provide any protection against the malicious code. So here we need to understand, right? So what are the key differences between the vulnerable packets and the malicious packets, right? So vulnerabilities are unintended code weakness that attacker may potentially discover and exploit, while the malicious code is intentionally inserted by the attackers and that will almost certainly be exploited. Right? Many developers and the security professionals don't realize that even mature, widely trusted packets can contain malicious packets. So right now, I will show an example, so we can see this example is a recent malicious packets attack. Right. So um, the the name of the target of the name of this target of this attack is XC utils, right? So this is a widely trusted open source Unix data compression library used in countless applications for over 15 years, right? So during a 3 years period, begin in 2021, a user named Jia Tan made many contributions to the XC utils project, contribute to this project, thus building trust with the project maintainers, right? In late 2023, he used social engineering by multiple fake accounts. Jata successfully pressured the project maintainer to appoint him as the co-maintainer of this project. In February 2024, leveraging this trusted position, Jatan disabled a security feature in the repos build and added very complicated malicious code to this library. The duration and the certification of this attack led experts to suspect probable backing by a state actor, right? So in March 2024, the hackers exploit the backdoor to gain unauthorized remote access with administrative privilege to the systems at many large companies. So fortunately, you may read the news. This developer from Microsoft accidentally discovered this backdoor, and then in such a case, he released the news in the market. So that's why we are able to reduce the potential damage of these far-reaching attacks. So what we learn here, so even widely used and trusted open source packets can contain malicious code. A package that was safe yesterday may not safe tomorrow, right? Malicious package attacks are becoming increasingly sophisticated, likely backed by deep pocket threat actors. And then malicious packets can enable um, um, very serious consequence at thousands of organizations at a time. So how to protect, right? So you can, so what you can do, right? So I think the first step is to have the automated discovery of all dependencies used by your application, including all indirect dependencies to unlimited depths. Then we have to cross-reference all funded packages against the largest available database of malicious packages to identify the dangerous one and then remove them from your environment. In the end, automate the enforcement of policy rules to block malicious or suspicious packages from being used by developers and being built into your application. So consider to deploy a private artifact registry to restrict developers to using pre-approved open source packages. So Now we have to, let me show the second drill down, the second examples. This is another newest software supply chain threat vector, which is called AI generator code, right? So the AI code generation tools are rapidly reintroduce new risk to the software supply chain. One of these risks is when Gen AI write code that contain vulnerabilities. Another is when Gen AI recommend the use of vulnerable, outdated, or even malicious open source packages. So let's look at this one of the example of how attackers are using AI by exploiting AI hallucination to engineer attacks. How does that work? We can see the attacker begin by asking Gen AI, like say ChatGPT, some development questions until the AI, the ChatGPT, for example, ChatGPT responds with the name of a hallucinated open source package, namely one that simply doesn't exist, right? So the end, the attacker then publishes the actual open source package with the same name to address the need in his original question. Of course, that package will come with unpleasant hidden surprise. Then developer subsequently asks the AI the similar questions, of course, now recommended the malicious package, right? So because of the developers never check this package recommended by AI is good or not, right? They just trust the AI, the developer goes ahead and they install the malicious package, right? And then the malicious code can then exfiltrate data, create backdoor, crack system, and then execute other actions. So this is the real case, right? We even have the third party, right? This third party is a Wakan Cyber. They have the research team. They also demonstrate the AI tools hallucinate non-existent package at an alarming rate. So their researchers asked ChatGPT hundreds of popular coding questions in areas such as parsing, serialization, math, and scripting. In response, ChatGPT hallucinate 150 non-existent packages. Clearly, this is fertile ground for malicious package attackers. So what we can do today to reduce the risk of Gen AI threats like one we just talked about, right? The first line of defense is developer education. We need to make sure that developers are fully aware the risk posed by a blindly trusted AI generated code. Then we need to integrate real-time code scanning within developer IDs to immediately flag risky AI generated code. Finally, you need to deploy an ICA solution with malicious package protection capability to block any insecure and even malicious dependencies suggested by the AI. So now let's move on to another case. The dangers of the hard-coded credential, or we also call it the exposed secrets. So how this threat led to a massive data breach at a major corporation, right? So modern enterprise software relies on many different kind of secrets, such as, for example, password, API keys, authentication tokens, to enable secure communication between the application microservices, even APIs, and then even automated DevSecOps pipelines, right? So the problem is that developers often use the hard-coded secrets into the source code or even the automation scripts or the configuration files, right? So even in the organization deploy those secrets, even when the organization deploy this kind of solutions to manage the secrets, right? So there are so many different solutions, let's say to manage the secret manager, the vault, right? So by coding secrets is simply it is simple, and then to make the way to write a test code faster and then easier, right? So this is very common, right? From the Palo Alto Network research team, they estimated 83% of organizations have hard-coded credential in their code repo. And then we also found a recent article, right? Describe how a single researcher uncovered 15,000 public exposed secrets, which granted access to the private system and the data. IBM research team also revealed that attacks exploiting exposed secrets are the most common attack vector. These attacks took the longest time to identify, and that they are among the most expensive type of the cyber attacks as well. So here I'm going to describe a recent cyber attack that was enabled by the exposed secrets. Right, this is an instance occurred in November 2024. So the target was the target organization was Schneider Electric, right? This is the Fortune Global 500 company with over 100,000 employees and there's 39 billion in annual revenues. Schneider is a major player in the global energy and the industrial sector, right? Attacker used the exposed credentials to compromise Schneider's Jira project management system, and then use an internal data export API to systematically exfiltrate a vast quality of data. Right? The attackers, after that, the attackers succeed in stealing around 40 gigabytes of sensitive data, including 75,000 unique email addresses and the personal details from the Schneider Electronic employee and their customers. So as a public infrastructure provider, breaches such as this have the potential to go beyond data theft and then cause the real world life-threatening results. So how are we able to prevent exposed secrets in the enterprise environment? Even with the first rate this kind of developer trainings and the secrets management tools, some secrets will still end up in the code. Right. Therefore, you need to it's kind of a unique kind of automated solution can detect hundreds of different types of credentials, access token, encryption key, and something else, right? So your solution need to automatically validate whether the identified secrets are still operative. This is a very critical capability to make sure the developer are prioritizing the remediation efforts on those exposed secrets that are currently exploitable, right? And finally, you have to automatically block code commit that contains secrets from reaching Git repositories, right? Because even private repositories are not immune to the penetration. If a secret never reaches the code repo, the chances that it be found and exploited by a bad actor are much smaller. Okay, so the final thread example I want to show here is about the containers, right? When we think about the software supply chain, do we really think about container? Container is part of the software supply chain security. Yeah, actually we should do, right? So container are already used in almost more than 90% of the enterprise cloud native applications. And then you can see from the this page, containers can enable attack vectors across much of the software supply chains. So because containers encapsulate all the elements of the application, they require dedicated solution to identify threats at all stages of the development and the deploy life cycles, including the, let's say, the source code, application dependencies, container dependencies, hosting environment misconfiguration, or even zero-day attacks, right? So how you can protect yourself from all these kind of container-related dangers, right? The answer is you have to you need a kind of a comprehensive automated solution to identify every type of container risk, so that the DevOps, security, and the development teams can efficiently remediate them, right? So in brief, you can see from this table, right? Defending against the container dangers means scanning the application code, scanning the open source packages, container images, individual container image layer, Docker files, and the configuration file in order to identify the vulnerability, malicious code, expose the secrets, and the misconfigurations. So how can we effectively protect our software supply chain from so many different dangers? The best way to protect against this kind of software supply chain threats is with a unified application security platform that cover all the base we discussed today and more. So we have one of the solution to use silo tools, right? Separate tools to cover software supply chain threat. This kind of solution simply doesn't work. It's inefficient, complex, very expensive to maintain, and then introduce very high noises. Most importantly, it doesn't allow for the effective correlation and then prioritization for the successful risk management and the remediations. The most effective way to successfully minimize the business risks of software supply chain threats is to deploy a single unified platform that delivers the complete range of capabilities needs to protect your application from every type of threats across the enterprise software development and the deployment life cycles. Because unlike attempting to tie together different solutions from different vendors, a unified platform provides comprehensive risk detection, effective risk management, and efficient risk remediation, working smoothly together to actually minimize the business risk. And the additional benefit of the unified platform approach, right, is that it make the things easier to begin, right, with your highest priority solutions, and then gradually add new defensive capabilities when you are ready for each next steps. So we already gave you some of the examples. You can move from the stage 1, 2, and then slowly move to the stage 4. Okay, so now we have covered a lot of example today. So let's recap recap what we have discussed just now, right? So the software supply chain threats are multiplying in frequency, severity, posing immediate and severe threat to the enterprise. It's very important then ever to protect against vulnerability and the malicious code in open source library, AI generated code, and the container image, right? You need to proactively prevent the exposure of secrets. So in 2025 and beyond, the best path to efficiently secure your entire software supply chain is by deploying a unified platform and cover all the bases with automation, correlated visibility, um, uh, prioritize the remediation, and then integrated the risk management, right? So thank you for joining today. That's all my contents.
Okay.
So right
Thanks.
now I'm open to questions.
Okay. Thanks, Aaron. So interesting, interesting talk to cover these topics. So
Sorry, Richie. Apologies. We can't really hear you. A bit soft.
oh, okay. Is it better?
Yes, this is better. Thank
Okay,
you.
sorry. So thanks, Aaron, for the interesting talk.
Mhm.
So right now, it's open to all of our participants. Anyone, if you have any questions, you can put in the chat, or actually you can voice out directly. But before our members fill in any questions, just want to ask a bit. Actually, how can we detect and remediate the malicious open source components before they are entered into the code base? So, any inputs here?
Yeah, of course, right? So how to detect that, right? So you need to have a mechanism in the ID, right? So when you start including start planning your what kind of open source packages going to be used into the application, right? Into the projects, and then start creating the malicious files, right? Sorry. Okay, this kind of sorry, this kind of um, manifest files for the open source packages dependencies, then this solution is able to scan real time and then to quickly identify the problematic packages you are using, right? So this is the first stage. Of course, this is the first and the fast stage. But of course, if you need a comprehensive scan, you need to really ready to upload the code into the Git repositories, trigger a full scan to have a very comprehensive understanding of your dependencies, either the direct dependencies and the indirect dependencies has been used in your application, and then to identify based on the dependency results to identify whether the dependencies are vulnerable dependencies or the malicious dependencies.
Okay, one of our participants asked a question. Any compression sheet relevant unified platform?
Um,
Uh,
so I need a bit more info about this question. What kind of comparison sheet
yeah, Joseph,
Joseph
maybe
is
you can.
asking?
Yeah, Joseph, maybe you can add in a bit more, so our speaker can understand and then answer the question further. Um, so when you mention about identifying some of the uh, vulnerabilities and also
Mhm,
sometimes exposed secrets, so what is the best way to identify the exposed secrets in the source
mhm.
code and also the repository during the development time?
Yeah. Yeah, there are. I think there are two different ways, right? Actually, there are two scenarios, right? For the for any enterprise, for any organizations, you have the existing application, existing projects, right? And then you have the new projects, right? For existing projects, you have to use a solution to scan your secrets, to scan your repositories and to make sure the projects, any contents in the projects, because the contents in the projects may be content, including the source code, including the description of the projects, and also including the PDF file, including the configuration file, including the scripts, right? So you need to make sure everything you put into the report there's no secrets. And then on top of that, so how are you able to identify the most critical secrets, right? So for example, there's kind of solution like say from Checkmarx secret detection, we are able to identify. We are not only identify the secrets in all those contents, right? We also tell the end user so which secrets has been used in the contents has been exploited. So right? So I always talk to my customers. So the attackers, most most uh, most of the attackers will not only attack one organization or one instance, right? So what they do, they use the known, for example, for the secret, they know the known secrets in the dark web. They use those known informations to attack everybody. And then after they penetrate, after they compromise the systems, right? That they will identify which instance is the most valuable instance for them to attack, right? So this is for the so with Checkmarx secret detection, we are able to tell you, okay, actually this is the secret. This is secrets API token, API key, authentication token has been used in your contents, and of course also has been exploited in the dark web. Okay, this is the first, right? And then for the newly created application, right? So when the developers start coding, you need to have a capability to block the developer to commit the code containing the secrets into your code repositories. So you need a SaaS solution which is not only scan your contents to detect the secrets, you also need the solution to have a pre-built or pre-commit scan to make sure there's no secrets being commit into the code repositories. So there are two use cases, and then for different use cases, there are two. They have different steps.
Okay. Interesting.
Mhm.
Joseph actually just provide updates to the question in the chat. So maybe Aaron, you can take a look and see if his questions it sounds more okay to you right now.
Yeah, yeah. So as you mentioned, a unified platform. I wondered if there are a couple of those platforms out there in the market, either open source or paid subscription based. Okay. So once I mentioned the unified platform, of course there's no open source. If you use open source, most likely you need to use different solutions, silo open source tools for such capabilities, right? A series of the capabilities. But here I'm talking about the unified application security platform. I can say there are a couple of platform in the market, and then all of them are paid subscription based. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want the comparison, you can contact our Daryl and Vivian, and then we can provide you the specific information you are looking for.
Good, good, good. So as you mentioned about the unified platform and also what you mentioned about those idea earlier. Actually, I think on top of Otto's question, I think it may be better that I jump in and put another question first before his part of the question, because actually we noticed that right now AI is very hot topics. So first thing, I think you mentioned about the AI solutions that integrated with the Checkmarx. So what's the role? What role can Checkmarx play in helping us in securing the AI generated and also the third-party code before it reached to the production? And then I think the second part is also related to what Ottoman asked earlier in this part of the question as well. So I think that two questions can be combined together, so you can see if you can give us some insights.
Okay, understand. Actually, Ricky and then Otto, actually your question can be compiled, can be answered together, right? So basically, right, so the role of the Checkmarx, or maybe the application security solutions can be played into this kind of AI generated code or AI this, we call it AI oriented solutions, right? So what we can do, right? So you can see in the market, right? So everyone is using AI, right? So everyone is using the AI to build the solutions, right? So from Checkmarx point of view, we are the first market players to build the AI and then to build some of the application security capabilities in the AI. So for example, we are the first application security vendor to release the plugins in the ChatGPT. So in the ChatGPT, you are able to see in the ChatGPT as you are able to see the Checkmarx Chat AI plugin, right? This plugin is a free plugin. Everybody is able to use, right? So we built in a light engine in this plugin. So what we are going to do is you give the question to the ChatGPT, right? When you use the plugin, first thing first, right? You give the question to the ChatGPT. The ChatGPT is able to generate the response. If the response including any source code, right, including any packages, right? So basically, the light engine is going to scan the code generated by the ChatGPT, and then the open source packages being used to build this generated code, right? Part of this generated code, right? We also can scan these open source packages, right? And then to help you, right? From fast scan point of view, this code and then these packages are safe to use or not, right? So this is the first level. The second level is, okay, so you copy the code, right? Even you are not using, so I understand, right? So not everyone using the ChatGPT. You are using, maybe you are using the DeepSeeker, you are using something else, right? So in such a case, what you can do, right? So yes, we are not able to build the plugin to all this kind of LLM, large language model. And then what you can do is you ask the AI, right? You ask the AI chatbot, you ask them to generate some of the ideas you want to achieve, right? In code level. So once you copy the code from the chatbot to your IDE, at this time you really need a solution, right? Can do the real-time scanning to help you to identify the code vulnerabilities, the open source vulnerabilities, malicious packets from the open source packages, right? And then the weakness of the infra as a code configurations, right? So inside the case, right, you have the real-time scanning, right? When you continue to change the code, because this is the code, this is the templates from the chatbot, right? You need to continue to make some changes to make sure all the variables naming convention is aligned with what you need, and then the function is aligned with what you need, and then you can commit the code into the code repositories, right? But before the code coming to the code repositories, you already have some level of the security scan. You are able to minimize the security risk from what you have created, and then move to the code repositories. Once you move to the code repository, once the code into the move into the code repository, you need to have a comprehensive scanning, right? You need to use the most comprehensive vulnerability database and the malicious package database to help you to identify the most critical, most harder, most hardest detected packages, right? So dependencies, right? So in such a case, you have end-to-end this kind of protection. It doesn't matter where, in which stage the AI help you to do the code generation or help you to do the configurations, right?
Interesting. So
Mhm.
I think Checkmarx actually participates and started this area quite early. So that's why you
Mhm.
can have so comprehensive idea of the solutions as well. So one of our participants asked a question. I think it's a follow-up questions related to the AI part.
Mhm.
That's the are your solution able to take care of the OWASP top 10 for LLM as well?
Mhm. So we are able to take care of the OWASP top 10 for LM, but I can say not all the top 10 for the LM, because the top 10 for the LM is not only for the code for the application securities. It's also related to some other part of the checkings, right? So because Checkmarx, from Checkmarx point of view, we are focusing on the application securities, right? So we scan the code, we scan the code in the static mode, in the runtime mode, right? So if there's other parts in the top 10 for LLM, we are not able to cover, right? So, but we are
Sure,
able to cover some of the areas. And then
sure. That
on top of
yeah.
that, we the platform is highly customizable. You are able to group the vulnerabilities or the security risks at the way you want to against to align with your OWASP top 10 for LM, only for the application security part. Right?
Understand,
I
understand.
think there's another question from Joseph. What are
Yes,
the
I
target
think
audience
his
and the
question,
user
yeah,
to, yeah. Mhm.
his question is actually a follow-up questions, I guess.
Mhm.
So so I think you see the questions as well. So see if you have any inputs there.
Yeah, so of course, right? So the target audience, right? So yes, of course, our target audience, we target three different personas: developers, application security managers, and the CISOs, right? So um, 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 how the platform had IT audit and the SOX audit to do their jobs. It's very easy, right? So let's say if if you are in the audit team, right? So if your organization is highly regulated by the is a highly regulated organization, right? So in such a case, for any application to be deployed into your production environment, let's say the banking system, the e-banking systems, right? Let's say, for example, for some uh, it's kind of stock trading systems, right? So you're facing to the customers, you connect to the core systems, and then you're also handling some of the transactions, either from the credit card or from other accounts, right? So you need to pass your application, once your application deploy to the production environment, you need to pass certain compliance framework. In Checkmarx, we provide the compliance dashboard, right? So we are able to help the audit team to quickly review, is there any existing vulnerabilities are aligned with those compliance framework, right? For example, if you need to comply with PCI DSS, if you need to comply with NIST, or even you need to comply with the ISO, right? So we provide you this dashboard and to help you to quickly identify what are the compliance status, right? So if if there are vulnerabilities still in the application, align those frameworks. Of course, for the audit team, you cannot really ask the application to be passed to be deployed into the production environments. Right?
Okay, I think we have a lot of questions that asked, and one of the interesting question, actually, I think you can look at the chat as well. Sam actually asked a question about the infrastructure as code and also anything as a code concept. So he mentioned that with more and more of the as a code concept coming to the cloud infrastructure, then what we would we would have more and more scanning and also all those tasks. So what should we do to have a holistic view and better managed way to avoid too much workloads actually added to the developer, DevOps, and also the SecOps engineer?
Yeah, I understand. This is a this is a very good question, right? So Sam really understand the pain, the daily this kind of very painful work. I mean the workload has been moved to the development, DevOps, and the application security team, right? So here very simple, right? So just now in one of the slides, I say, okay, previously we use we use very nice components to build out the applications. The code we develop, maybe we just need to use the something like to communicate. We are able to use the collaboration tools, and then we deploy the application into the VMs. And then now because of the cloud native, because of the AI generated code, because of the container Kubernetes clusters, DevOps, cloud, hybrid cloud, private cloud, then we have a lot of components need to take care of. And the different components is going to generate the different weakness. So in such a case, right? So yeah, I think right now I can say you are using silo solutions. You use different solutions. If I may wrong, so this is my I assume you are using silo solutions, right? You're using a solution A for code, solution B for dependency, solution C for IC or something else, right? So you're using silo solutions, and then each solution will give you a list of the results. Each solution maybe give you hundreds of the results, right? So in such a case, right? Yes, of course, each solution is giving you hundreds of results. They also give you which one is the high risk, critical risk, high risk, and the medium risk, right? But in such a case, because I have 5, 6, or even 10 different source points to give me, and if and in each individual data point, you give me 10 critical. So which one is the most critical? Right now, you really lose your focus because you are using so many solutions, silo solutions, and then generate so many data. You lose your focus. You don't know how to protect your work. So you cannot really tell, okay, those are the critical one you need to solve for me, right? This is impossible. So you really need a solution which is able to consolidate the results, right? You need to, the results can be correlated together. And then after the correlate is the reprioritize, right? So we correlate the results, we understand the results, we reprioritize the results. Even there, we have 10 critical risks from each individual solutions, right? We are able to focus on the most critical one, right? So in such a case, this is this is how the reprioritization process play here, right? So reprioritization is going to recalculate the risk score and then to give it a new sequence to the end user, to the security team, to the DevOps team, to the development team. What are the top 50, top 20, top 50 vulnerability or security risks you have to focus in today or in 2 days, right? So in such a way, you are able to focus on the risk for the application itself, not from the each individual solution. So um, mhm.
So I think that that may help some of the cases how to handle it as well. As a follow-up, when you mentioned about that design and also those pipelines, I think of one question that is when we use more and more of the this kind of pipeline and then solutions, any bad practice, not best one, any bad practice that you have observed, and then how they should enhance when building up the pipeline.
So is the question in the
Not here, not here, not here, not here.
Okay.
I just asked the question that right on the earlier one.
Oh, okay, sure, no problem. So it's very simple, right? So start the scanning as early as you can to avoid many results being discovered at the end of the stage, right? So if you are able to address the issues just when you develop when you start the first line of the coding, then before the code move to the repositories, and then before the build, before the release, right? So in each stage, in each SDLC stage, software development lifecycle stage, you are able to address a certain number of the vulnerabilities or 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 the uh, or bad coding styles, right? So in such a case, you are able to really streamline the securities into your development process, right? This is how we want to achieve the DevSecOps strategy, right? So to make sure that the security is not only happen at the end, it's also happen in every steps of the development, right? So need to start from the ID level, like from the development level, even try the best into the design level, right? So if you can build out a kind of a good application security awareness program, right? So all the developer, all the engineers are application secret coding trained. They can create less problems in the development stage, right? And they, with the real-time scanning, try to minimize the risk and then move to the repositories to have some complete comprehensive scan, and then go back to the chains, right? That in such a case, you have less pressures to fix those issues. And once you pass these stages, you can move to the following steps. Before you deploy the application, you need to have the final check, pass the audit states, right? So you have less and less work to fix the issues.
Okay, so I think the last question that we can answer, because I think it's almost time's up, is from Joseph. That is, can the platform facilitate CSA? So CSA is I assume the term here CSA may be related to Cloud Security Alliance, because sometimes this word can also, for Singapore team, actually may be referring to the Singapore the requirements. So I guess it's for the Cloud Security Alliance framework. So when we say about Cloud Security Alliance framework, mainly is about the cloud control matrix and also the guidance, but more likely, I guess, should be related to the cloud control matrix part. So any possibility that the platform able to facilitate the support of the Cloud Security Alliance framework?
To be honest, I don't fully understand that. I have very limited knowledge on the CSA framework, Cloud Security Alliance framework, right? So, but obviously, Checkmarx got this IAC security scanning, right? So you are able to design the templates for the you are able to create the infrastructure as code, right? You can create the templates against to your framework, and then to make sure to create to create the code based on the framework scan, and then to make sure all the you also can create the queries, create the this kind of create the queries against to your framework, right? So in such a case, you are able to check anyone deploy created this using the, for example, the Terraform or CloudFormation. Anyone using those technology to create the infrastructure code is able to comply with your framework requirements. Why I say that? Because we do Checkmarx IAC security do support the certain CIS benchmark. So if this CISA framework is somehow related to the CIS benchmark 1 or the benchmark 2 requirements, and then in such a case, we are able to help you to do it. Yeah.
So I think maybe if we have more questions, Daryl actually has sent out a email link. So can maybe for our participants, we can ask Daryl and also Aaron later. And also the slides as well as the recording after this event, we will also publish it through our Cloud Security Alliance Hong Kong and Macau chapter website. So I think we have to pause here. While for the last question from Joseph, I think it would be better that we ask next round, but because when we say next round is because Otto has helped me to arrange another speaker on 19th of June. So on 19th of June, which is next month events, we will have another speakers, which is more on the another interesting events on the AI part, which is defending genetic AI applications. So they are from AWS. So so I think right now we pause here. Thanks a lot for Aaron's and also for Daryl as well as the Checkmarx team time for the discussion, and also thanks everyone to participate here in the events. So thank you everyone. Thanks Aaron. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
thank you so much,
Thank you
everyone.
much.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
joining as well.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Have a nice day. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Bye.
You too. Bye bye.